Hi, good morning, grade 5. How are you? Okay, so this morning we will have the topic all about animals. Do you love animals? Do you love pets? Okay, but this time let's have a short activity. It's all about what animal am I? Okay, so what animal am I? I am a small insect. I like to trap other bugs in my web. I have 8 legs. Who am I? Okay, it's a spider. Okay, next. My bodies are small and covered with fur. I sleep at daytime and find foods during nighttime. I capture prey while flying through the air, snag fruits and berries while flying, or hover to drink nectar. Who am I? Okay, it's a pet. Next, I am a bird who lives on the farm. I like to lay eggs in my nest. I have a lot of feathers, 2 wings, and a beak. Who am I? Okay, it's a hen or a chicken. Okay, next, I say meow. I can catch mice. My babies are kitten. I have sharp claws. Who am I? It's a cat. Okay, so this time you match their children. Okay, so this one, of course, it is very easy. It's the kitten, and for this hand, it's the chicks. Okay, so what have you observed from these pictures? Okay, so that means, or it's all about reproduction. Okay, so the process wherein animals produce animals like themselves, as you can see there from the previous picture, is called reproduction. Some animals reproduce sexually. In animal sexual reproduction, a male animal and a female animal of the same kind mate to reproduce their own kind. Sexual reproduction begins when the male animal's sperm unites with the female animal's egg, and that's what we call fertilization. Okay? And after undergoing the process, the fertilized egg grows and develops into a new animal. And the fertilized egg is called zygote. Do you remember that one? Okay. So there are two kinds of fertilization. As you can see there, it's the internal and the external fertilization. By just observing from these pictures, grade 5, what do you think the difference between the two? Okay, so let's talk about the external. So what do you think the difference between the two? So first, let's have the external. So when we say external, it is outside of the body. Okay, so meaning eggs fertilize outside female's body. And it occurs mostly in aquatic environments like fish or amphibians. Okay, but there are disadvantages or hazards of this kind of fertilization. Many eggs and sperm are produced, some survive, okay? Eggs and sperm may not meet, they may be eaten, or environmental conditions may change. So the fish will produce or lay eggs, so 1,000,000 eggs, okay, or 1,000 eggs, and then some cannot survive, okay, because some organisms living in the ocean or in the water may eat the eggs, and then also the other factor is the environmental conditions. Okay, so as you can see here in the picture, so male fish waits to spread sperm over the eggs. Okay, so female fish lays eggs. So the female and the male fish will release their sperm cells and their egg cells. And that's the time the egg will fertilize in the water, not in the inside of the mother fish. Okay, that's why we call it external fertilization. Okay, and the name for laying or the process during which eggs and sperms are released into the water and the eggs are fertilized is what we call spawning. Okay, this is what we call spawning. Okay, But some fish, not all of the fish, are undergoes external. Some fish undergo internal fertilization, and these are the examples. Okay, okay, for a while. Okay, so these are some examples. What is this? Yeah, it is a shark. So shark will fertilize inside. Okay, the egg will fertilize inside of their body. And then also this one, do you know what is this? It is a chimeras, okay? And this one is a rays, and also some bony fish. Okay, so these three are just an example of some fish that undergoes internal fertilization. Okay, so next, let's talk about internal. So last time it's external, or earlier it's external, so it's outside of the body. The egg fertilized outside of the body. But here in the internal fertilization, the egg is fertilized inside the body. Okay, so fertilization occurs inside the female. Okay, and then internal fertilization occurs in mammals, insects, birds, reptiles. So example, mammals, we are a mammal, okay? Like gorillas, lions, elephants, rats, zebras, and dolphins have live births. And insects, birds, reptiles lay eggs, okay? But the eggs of these species are fertilized already inside the female species, okay? So when it releases na, so that's the time they will just wait until it will, the babies, okay, their children will be born, okay? So that is the difference between internal and external fertilization. Again, when we say external, the egg fertilized outside of the female body. Okay? And when we say internal, the egg fertilized inside the female body. Okay? So that's the difference between the two. Okay, so here, I want you to answer this one. I give you 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes to think. You identify each species, if it is external or internal fertilization. You write your answers in your paper and you send it in the cerebro. Clear? Okay, very good. Go, you can do it. Okay, time's up. Okay, you can pause this video to answer this question. Okay, so let's have the metamorphosis. What do you mean by metamorphosis? Okay, some young animals look very different from their parent animals. They undergo changes first before they can look like their parents. The major change an animal goes through its growth stage is what we call metamorphosis. Okay? It is the changing of the form of the developed animals from an egg to an adult. Okay? So there are two types of metamorphosis. We have the complete and the incomplete metamorphosis. So based on this picture, the two pictures, what do you think the difference between the two? Look up. This incomplete metamorphosis, only three. Eggs, nymph, and adult. Okay, it's only three. And how about this one? Complete metamorphosis. We have the eggs, larva, pupa, and adult. What do you think the difference? Okay, very good. The difference between the two is like this incomplete, it's just have three stages, okay? The eggs, the nymph, and the adult. While the complete metamorphosis, there are four stages. First, the eggs, the larva, the pupa, and the adult. Okay, these are the difference between the two. Okay, so first let's talk about complete metamorphosis. Type of development consisting of four distinct stages. As what I've said, the egg, the larva, the pupa, and an adult. Okay, this is an example of complete metamorphosis, and it is the life cycle of a butterfly. Okay, so here in the incomplete metamorphosis, as what you see there, the egg, the nymph, and the adult. Okay? Now, what are the examples of complete and incomplete metamorphosis? So let's go back here in complete metamorphosis. So examples are butterflies, flies, bees, beetles, ants. Okay, so these are some examples of complete metamorphosis. So in incomplete metamorphosis, examples are grasshoppers, dragonflies, and bugs. Okay, so these are the examples of incomplete. So in this picture, it is a dragonfly. Okay, so dragonfly is an example of incomplete metamorphosis. Okay, so let's use the Venn diagram to differentiate the two. Okay, so for the complete, we have the larva, the pupa, the egg, and an adult. Okay, so this center, it is the same stage that we had. Okay, so incomplete, we have the egg, the larva, the pupa, and an adult. Okay, while the incomplete, we have the egg, nymph, and adult. So only three. Okay, so examples of complete, as what I said, butterfly and lady beetle. Okay, for the incomplete, milkweed bugs, or the grasshoppers, or dragonflies. Okay, so this is the difference, or these are the difference between the complete and incomplete. Okay, so this time let's talk about, or I will show you some examples of life cycle of a frog. Okay, as you can see in the picture, it started with an egg, and then embryo. Okay, so it is fertilized already, and it becomes tadpoles, and it clings to the plant, okay, or the water plant. And then after, external gills for breathing. Okay, as you can see there. And then tail keeps on growing. Okay, and after, hind legs appear. Leaves from food stored in the tail. Front legs appear. Okay, so you can see there. And then tail becomes shorter. Young frog. And then later on, after a few weeks, the young frog will become a carnivorous. Okay, they eat insects already, and it turns into an adult frog. Okay, this is a life cycle of a frog. Okay, we have another here. It's the mosquito. I really hate mosquito. Do you love mosquito? Okay, so first, okay, female mosquitoes lay eggs in containers that hold water, and mostly the water is stagnant. Okay, and then we have the eggs. Eggs hatch within a few days to months when covered with water, and then it turns to a larva. So larvae live in water. They develop into pupae in as a few as 5 days. And then pupae live in water. They develop into adult flying mosquitoes in 2 to 3 days. Wow, very fast. That's why you observe that the mosquitoes are really reproduce faster, unlike from the other organisms or species. Okay, so that's why, especially today, it's raining. Okay, so we need to be careful with our things outside of our house. Make sure that there is no water inside of our garbages when you put it outside. Okay? Because that's the best place. That's the best habitat for the mosquito. Okay? So those are the two types of metamorphosis. So this time, the same. You answer this one. You identify whether it is complete or incomplete metamorphosis. You write your answer in your paper, the same with the other one, other question, and then you send it to me in the cerebro. Okay, are we clear, grade 5? Okay, so that's all. Thank you so much. Goodbye.